everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs. I've got a really cute card to show you today. It features the Gumball Greetings bundle from the Spring 2022 Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog. This is a really fun bundle. Not only do we have stamps and the dies, but as you can see, we have some accessories that go with it. These are called shaker domes, and that's what you use right there. Then we also have these little frosted beads. I mean, there must be a million and there's a ton to go inside your gumball machine. How fun. I think every child would love to get a card like this, or adults too, right? All right, let's start by making the gumball machine. You're going to need some basic white cardstock. I'm going to color my machine with Stampin' Blends. So that means I'm going to stamp my gumball machine in Memento Black. And I like to color on thick basic white, so that's what I'm going to use to stamp all of my things. There's the top part. And then we've got the very top part. We'll put that over here. All right, I went with Highland Heather. I thought a pink gumball machine would be really fun. I'm going to start with the light. And I'm just going to give it a full coating of light Highland Heather. I'm using the bullet tip end of my marker to color it in. And the only reason I like to use the bullet tip end in small areas is because I feel like I have better control over it. I'm not going to get out of the lines too much with my brush tip. I feel like sometimes I get out of the lines too easily. All right, now I'm going to take the dark, and I'm actually going to outline the black lines like this. And the reason that I am only doing this left section is because I like to work in small areas. That way the alcohol ink won't dry out before I come back to blend it all together. Because now I'm going to take the light and I'm just going to go over it again, and that's going to pull in out those dark colors and blend it very nicely. All right. Now I'm going to take my color lifter and I'm going to go right here like that to kind of create a shine, like the light is shining there on that edge. All right, now I'm going to do the other side in the exact same way. Right now I'm going to take my light smoky slate and pretty much do the same thing with this part of the machine. I think this part's usually silver. And I have several other gumball machine projects, and each one I do a little bit different. One of them I use silver foil. So make sure you check out my other projects on YouTube, and they'll be on my blog as well. All right, I'm going to take the dark and just kind of add some contrast here. Go around that. A little coin slot. And I think I'll go around the edge too. Like that. Okay, once again, get your light and just kind of blend all that together. All right, now for the lid, I'm going to go a little bit lighter on the lid because if we were looking at this in real life, the lightest part would be at the very top, assuming that our light source is coming from above. So I'm going to take my light and I'm just going to go about 3/4, maybe a little bit more, all the way up like that, leaving that white line. Now I'm going to take my dark and I'm going to add a little bit of dark right there. Again, blend that in. And then I'm going to take my color lifter and I'm going to use the brush end. And I'm going to brush that right there so it all kind of bleeds lightly up to the top. All right, looks really good. Now let's use the dies to cut it out. We're going to use our cut and emboss machine. You know what? While we're here, let's stamp our sentiment because we're going to cut that out as well. Let's get our wishing you the sweetest day ever. And I'm going to cut that out with a tailor-made tag. All right, let's see if we can get all these lined up together. All right, one thing I want to point out to you with the glass dome, I was confused by it in the beginning. You'll notice there's a larger part and then a smaller section. At first glance, they look the same, but one is smaller than the other. On this end right here, the drawing goes down just a little bit, and that's where it would kind of sit down in the machine. So that's where the larger part goes. The smaller section goes at the top where we would put that lid on that we colored. All right, so put that there. Then we'll put this one here. This die is really cool because it also cuts out, it cuts the door so that it will open, which I think is really a clever design aspect. All right, put that there. And then we'll get that tailor-made tag. Let me see, which direction did I put it? Yes, like that. Now this tag, we're going to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to make sure that the words are at as far to the top as possible. All right, run that through your cut and emboss machine. These will fit in the mini cut and emboss machine, if you have the mini. Now, before we put this away, let's take a look at this. I wanted this tag to be a little bit shorter. So I'm going to take the die and I'm going to set it like that. And all I really need to do is go past that line. You'll hear it kind of pop and then bring it out. And then look, we've made a shorter tag. I love to do fun things with my dies like that. All right, you know what? We forgot one more thing. Let's bring it over here. We need to cut out the dome from this white piece. And remember, the smaller section goes at the top. And I want to make sure it's exactly straight. So I'm going to look here. Let's kind of eyeball it to see, will that fit? Yes. All right, so make sure it's nice and straight. If you're worried about it slipping or being crooked at all, use a Post-it note or some Post-it tape to hold it in place. Okay. Now, let's take our gumball machine, and remember, look how cute, isn't that fun? I'm going to adhere that on with some Stampin' Seal. It even has a little slot for the coin. See that? I didn't put the coin on here, but you could stamp the coin and add that to the little slot. All right, and then we've got this part. So I can pick it up. And we're going to adhere that right to the top, right there. Okay, now I'm going to get my shaker dome. And I'm going to use my take your pick tool. Well, my fingernail got it that time. Usually I can't get it with my fingernail. All right, we'll put that right in there. I want to make sure I get it nice and centered. All right. Now, I'm going to add some adhesive here because the next part's going to get a little bit tricky. We're going to fill it. And, yeah, this time I've got to use my take your pick tool. All right, let's see. We're going to put some of these in here. You don't want to overfill it. If you overfill it, then they won't shake around. If you want it to be super full, you can. But just know that you need to leave room for them to shake around. All right, now we'll take this. I'm going to set that right in there. It just fits. I've got to get it perfect. There we go. Like that. And that will hold your little gumballs in for you to do this next part. Very carefully. We're going to adhere it to a piece of gorgeous grape. All right, isn't that cute? Okay, now we're going to add a few more gumballs, but let's get the rest of our card together. I've got a again with a granny apple. Gorgeous grape. My goodness. This is gorgeous grape cardstock. I am going to adhere a piece of Highland Heather. Those are the markers that we used. Everything matches. And then this paper you might recognize. This is our Valentine paper. This purple stripe is so cute. This paper was really the inspiration for this whole project. All right. The full supply list and all the measurements of all of these pieces is on my blog. Click the link here on YouTube. It'll take you back to a post that was originally a Facebook Friday post. And under the last photo, there is an icon that says click here for the PDF. It's free. It will have all the measurements as well as the supply list. So make sure you get that. All right, look, I did stamp it upside down. Make sure that you don't do that. Well, why don't we put it over here on this side? The sentiment needs to be facing this way. All right, we'll put that on with a dimensional. Now I've got this adorable Highland Heather ribbon. Let's see, it's officially called Grosgrain ribbon, but it has a sparkle in it. I have cut it down the middle. Can you see how I've split it? And I'm just going to tie a bow. The reason I did that is because the ribbon is fat and I feel like it's going to bulk up the card if I put it on. We already have a bulky card because of the shaker dome, so I didn't want to add any more bulk. Now you might be wondering how you would mail this card, and you're going to have to use a padded envelope, and that's going to cost you about $3 or $4. I mail stuff every day, so I kind of know the prices, but don't you think it's worth it? I think that these are better given in person, these shaker cards, because you just don't know what's going to happen to your card in transit, and that makes me nervous. Okay, we're going to add a few more gumballs. I'm going to add a couple inside here because that's just fun. And then we'll put one here and here, a couple here. I'm using little tiny dots of Tombow liquid glue. And then we'll come over here. I'm going to pour some in my lid there. And then I'm just going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. My Take Your Pick tool isn't very sticky right now. I need to start it with a new thing of putty. Let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. How about a purple one right there? How about, let's see. I didn't get any bright colors when I poured this out. I need to do another pour because we need some bright. There we go. There's some red. Okay. And let's put a red one on the inside too. Red's my favorite color. And let's do another purple. Right there. All right, now you're going to need to give this ample time to dry. I have a little something to go on the inside that I want to show you. I probably should have done that before we did the gumballs. But as you can see, there is a little gumball that you can actually stamp on the inside. Now I use 3 colors, and I'm going to show you how I did that. I've got our polished pink, Highland Heather, and Granny Apple Green. And what I'm going to do, since this is a clear stamp, I can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going to stamp each gumball in the very bottom corner of my ink pads so that it's 3 different colors. Hopefully you guys can see. Okay, see that? And you can just barely get that ink on there. And do a couple here. Make sure you get the same color on each gumball. Otherwise, when you stamp it, the second or third time, it's going to be kind of muddled. And like that. That's just a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of cardstock, basic white, that we put on the inside. But we don't want to open that right now. We want those gumballs to dry. Okay, you guys, there's a really fun kind of fancy birthday card. I hope you like it, and I hope you'll give it a try. Make sure you click the link here on my blog, hop back over. Click the link here on YouTube, hop back over to my blog, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.